hi. She responded. Then we talked. But she told me, you know what? I'm okay. I think I moved on, and I'm even asking God to give me another person. So I wanted to like go see my son, because I felt like I've lost my wife, but now I have a son. I cannot assume that I do not have a son. So I went to school. Fine, Jim was called. And then when he came, he just looked at me and like, Jim, who is this? He's my uncle. Jimmy, see, I bought you a bike and we trained, and you are calling me daddy. How come I'm your uncle now? You know, the teachers left because they didn't understand why. And the boy was very serious and very honest, like, you know, the way kids are. This is my uncle. Do you know his name? No. The teachers left. And then I was there. Jimmy, why would you say I'm not your dad? I think you know I'm your dad. Like, you know I'm your dad. Like, yeah, but my dad is so and so. That means already, like, they are living with that person. That was deadly. I was not able to talk much. I just told him, you know what, Jimmy, I'm your dad, and I'll remain to be your dad. Don't go tell them that you saw your dad. Don't even say that your uncle visited you. So you know I'm your dad. So you know I've done this and this and this and this and this with you. I have photos. Like, I showed him photos that day. Who is this? We had gone to the village, and then we were in a certain river. I was trying to like train him to swim in the river and to fish. We have the photos. I even have them right now. So I was like trying to show him the sense like I'm the dad, but because you've already like said you have this dad and all that, so don't go say that you met me. Promise me that you're not going to tell them that you met me. It's okay. The boy was very innocent and saying yes. He would say, the time I was coming back to Nairobi, let me tell you, it was the longest journey. It was the longest journey. I felt like I was alone. I can't remember how we got here, but I called Halima Peters. I told her, hey, I had gone to school, because she knew the journey now that I'm trying to make things right with my family to get them back, but things are not working out. So I called her and told her, hey, I've gone to visit my son, and what he has told me is heartbreaking. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. And she was like, are you able to like talk about it, or we can meet in the evening? I was like, I don't know, even if we meet in the evening, like I'm going to I don't know what to say. Because, you know, I felt like I was left with my son, but again, hata yeye ni kama amenitoka. And the way he has told me, he would have spared me because he knows me. She told me like, you come in the evening, we talk. So I didn't go. I started now having like a depression. Like, I've really lost these people. And she would warn me and tell me, by the way, you know what? Don't even call me. Utaniharibia tu kwangu, boss. You know?
And you're not even divorced.
And we are not divorced. So we started now having the plan to divorce. Now we would talk like, what do you want in life? Now that we have gotten to this point, what do you want? And she was like, if you divorce me, like we would divorce, I would be fine. I'd be able now to like
Move on.
Yeah, move on. Yeah, it was hard for me, and I was still serving God. Like, I was serving God seriously. I would come here for Praco. The ones that are not for, like, men are not serving, it is ladies who are serving. And then because it is on a Thursday, and I know that every Thursday I go to church for Praco. I just came and found there are ladies who are doing the practice. You know, everyone is like, you dude, you've never even become serious, not even one day. You are a joker every time. Now you're coming for Praco, it is for like ladies. I'm like, yeah. And I was trying to start thinking like, how did I get here? And it was even announced like it was like Mother's Day. I think it was Mother's Day, and ladies were supposed to serve. And I'm like, guy. So obviously, that happy person joking all the time, and I make jokes here and there, and then I left. And when I was going back, and I'm like, God, what is happening with me? It's like now I'm not able to like start controlling things, vitu zinakuja tu, and I'm not able to like give a record about Monday mpaka Friday what has been happening. It's like there's something wrong with me. So I started now asking God if He would allow me to understand what is happening, because I cannot be able to go share with the same people who think this guy is the happiest person and he's having all the life to live and very happy and all that. And to other people, apart from the few that knew that I had issues with my family, they thought I was a very happy man. And I'm married, and when do you go to see your people? Like, yeah, once in a while I go. Because I didn't want to give the story that was really hurting me. I wouldn't have wanted to tell the story because it would hurt me. Like when I start now seeing what I'm going through, and I'm telling people about something that is really hurting me, and I don't want to show like I'm hurt. Still, I was in church, prayerful. I would pray. I would come for keshes because we had keshes here. I would pray. I would tell God, if there is anything else left for me, show me what it is. Because already, now na familia imeenda. And then I started consulting a brother, Joe. Now that Joe is a lawyer. And I'm like, the way things are happening, this thing is really needed. So we need to figure out how we are going to get the filing the divorce and all that. Then he was like, hey bro, imefika hapo. But now ilikuwa imefika hapo too, there's nothing much I would have done. But still I felt the love. I still felt as in okay, let me get out of the story a bit. What is happening these days that people are killing the people that they love? It's because you love this person so much and you're hurting. You feel instead of us living this kind of life, or this person is going to live with another person, if we separate, I would rather kill them and then I kill myself. But now for me, I was like feeling love, and I would have wanted Mercy to be happy. I wanted her to be happy. In expense of the pain that I'm going to go through, I want her to be happy. And that was her point. Like, dude, I just want to be happy. I can't be happy when you're in the picture and you're supposed to release me in the legal way.
So that I can be happy with this person. So
that I can be happy, because you know what? I cannot be happy with you. And when I hear that, and I know, if I'm given a chance to get her back, I would go for it. But now, when it got to a point where it became serious and all that, I was now consulting Joe for as a lawyer for the divorce and all that. He told me, you're going to pay this amount of money, and then I'm going to get the papers, and then I'm going to serve her, and then you're going to report it and all that, so that now the court can take, When I told her that I've been able to see the lawyer and we can now go through the process, she was like, why do you want to do it in Nairobi? Why don't we do it in Embu? Even that lawyer, no, I need, wait, let's go and look for a lawyer in Embu. I don't want the one in Nairobi. Because she felt like I would be, I would take it the way it won't be quick. She wanted something that we will do it quickly, and then she's free and she can move on. So we agreed. And now that is the time I realized, this love was from God, by the way. Ni devil tu alikuwa anajaribu kutupiganisha. This, as in, I want to tell you the truth. The way we planned, we are going to have to look for a lawyer in Embu. And I went to Embu in the morning. We agreed we are going to meet at a certain point so that we can go together. And I went and met her. People who are divorcing, they do not have stories to give. What stories do you have to, you are looking for a divorce. There's nothing we are talking about, right? But we met, and then we walked together, talking. those issues, the simple things, like, oh, so you find how is the boy, okay, and we got to the office where we are supposed now to get another lawyer, and then we are seated here like together, still talking a bit. And now the funny thing about that story is like when she wanted to go for a short call, she asked me to like get hold of her parcel and the phone so that she can go to there.
For sure.
And I was like, "Ai, sasa, you telling me to like nikushikie his stuff zako and we are coming here so that we can divorce kila msee aende zake." But I was like, sawa. Then we saw the secretary, and then we got the appointment, and then we talked with the lawyer. The lawyer didn't know it is me and her. We were divorcing. I don't know. I don't know what he thought actually, because he didn't know it was me and Mercy. Like we were trying to look for the divorce, because we inquired how it's supposed to be done. Those people are supposed to be given time so that they can agree, and all that. And then okay, fine. How much? I think 40,000, and then we left. Then when we left, I was supposed now to go to church and tell them the final decision is like we are divorcing, and so we were there. I had already like made an appointment after we see the lawyer. We are now going to church so that I can tell them the way forward. And you know what? I still felt like I want her still. But the fact is, she's already moved on with another person. That particular time, I didn't feel like a bitterness that came after. So, we went to church, and after we saw the lawyer, we went for lunch. Like, I don't know what was happening with us. Anyway, I don't know. That was funny. We went to a hotel somewhere, and we had lunch. Now it was like, for me, it was like the very last time I'm doing this with her, because I know we are getting divorced, and it is going to be just be like. But I was telling God, if I've served you faithfully in church, if this was not a mistake, that I didn't marry Mercy like by mistake, let these things not succeed. I would rather I stay for 10 years seeing her not moving on with another person. But if really it is your will, then I'm not able to control it. Give me the grace to accept. And it was hard. Then I went to church after we had the lunch and all that, because for me I was feeling it is the last time we are having a meal. It is like the last supper. And I felt like surely this is the last. I have to make the best. So we ate, and then we parted. I went to church, and then I found the elders there and the pastor. Hey, and we talked, and they were not happy that this is a person, we officiated your wedding, and you guys do not have issues that would make you divorce. And we're not going to encourage that. So you're going to figure it out by yourselves. You do it. And then we're going to excommunicate you totally in church, because we cannot be able to say, hakuna reason why you guys, as in those petty things zenye zinafanya sijui muachane nini. Take time and think about it. Now that day, the best man was there. You don't mean, you know what? Whatever you're thinking, that is childish. Do not give her a divorce. Things will be fine. Don't do that. I was trying to blame him a bit about he didn't even like follow up. He didn't ask anything. So while we were there, she comes in church. Like she wanted to know what I had gone to do in church. So she was invited, she was welcomed and given a seat. When I look at her, I was like, if I would die today, this woman would go and stand besides the casket, and she would be called my wife because I've not divorced her. And you know, I cried. I was trying to like control the emotion, the feeling, and I was not able. So we had already talked with the elders and all that. She was asked, so is it true that you want to have a divorce? She was like, yes. So you really want to move on with life, and you don't want this guy, and he doesn't seem to have any problem with you. Like, no, not about having any problem. I've gone through a lot of things, and I've realized that I do not need him. Because since the time we separated up to now, I've been able to, I've survived and I'm fine. But I do not want to start again with him. While she was saying that, I was crying like, hey, but this thing is real. If she would say this in front of the
pastors.
Yeah. And I told her, you know, I just looked at her and I told her, you know what? If I die today, that time I was in tears. If I die today, just know that you're going to stand beside the casket as my wife. And once you bury me, just go and have the happiness that you want. But if it does not, between now and the time I'm going to divorce you, if it is going to happen, between now and that time, you still remain my wife. And everyone was looking at me. Guys shed tears. Because that was serious. You had gone to look for a lawyer to get a divorce and all that, and this is what you are saying. You know, for me, I was not letting go. And by then, I was not letting go. I felt like, no, it is not the right time for me to let go. But then I was asking God, God, if this was not a mistake, like I married this person, don't allow these things to happen. But because I cannot be able to fight by my own skills and knowledge about it, just do something that is going to delay these things, or start speaking to her. Now, after we did that, that's the time now Judy comes in. I didn't have a friend I would trust with my stories in church. Because I'm the happiest guy, everyone would want to be like me. Very smart, happy all the time. You don't get late to church. You don't miss pracos and everything. But I was doing it, telling God, by the way, you know what, I'm not doing this just for fun. I'm going to do this and you fight my battle. Because I cannot be able. But then I felt like I was comfortable to share with Judy. Then I told Judy, hey, Judy, this is what I'm going through. It's like I'm depressed or something. Because sometimes I'm having the suicidal thoughts. I'm trying to figure out, like, my wife is moving on with another person. Hey, I don't know. I don't know how to. And we would pray. Then when I try to, like, so Judy would tell me, Judy would tell me, Jasper, if it was the will of God to have Mercy back, she will come back. But if it is the will of God that she's going to move, then remember the word. You'll have to remain serving God until you die, or she dies so that you can move on, because that is what the word says. You remember Pastor Tony preached about it? It's like, yeah. And it was the hardest thing to imagine. So I'd still remain to tell God, save my family. If there's an extra cost for me to pay so that you can save my family, that is what I want you to give me, you know? Then my wife was very, like, she was pushing. That's what she wants. So I started now, like, when Judy realized that,
I'll give you a moment.
I'm fine. When Judy realized that I was going through a lot of issues, she told me, I can talk to Val. She can help me with, like, to go through the,
Val is a counselor.
yeah, like so that we can be able to understand the situation and how I can manage it. And now Val came into the picture. She would come to my business where I do the business, and we would talk, like we'd have a whole afternoon talking. And one time I would ask her, like, if this is what is going to happen, will my life, will I ever trust God that I've been so devoted that, like, I don't, outside church and business, I do not have anything else that I can say I do that would make God not to, like, restore my family. And Val would tell me if it is the will of God. As in, right now we pray for the will of God, but these things happen to people. I'm not the first person. If it will happen and I still feel I'm okay, I'm sober in the mind, I can serve God, I can do business, I can do everything. It is normal, like these things are happening. I shouldn't now start thinking I'm the only person who is going through this and you know. And while we were doing that, Judy again came into the picture. And I thank God for her, actually. She told me there's one secret. We can ask God to give, not to give Mercy peace where she is. And it was a relief for me to have such a prayer item, because there was always a breakthrough. When you're praying that this person is not going to have peace, these are all the materials to say. I told God, if really this was from you, and I've served you, knowing you've said that all things work for good to those who love God, and you know how I love you, and how I'm so devoted to make sure that I'm doing everything so that you can fight this battle. Do not let this person harm Mercy or do anything to her. And let there be no other human being in their life, like a child. But I want Mercy. That is what I want. And for that reason, do not give her peace. Let her feel that she does not belong to that person. And you know, there was a breakthrough. I would pray at the altar, like after our meetings and all that, would sit. And Judy would ask me, Sasa Jasper, umefikisha wapi hizi maneno? I would tell her, let's just pray. God is going to do something. Wow. That prayer was answered.
Amen.
God did not give Mercy peace. And right now, I am a stronger believer.
Amen.
Because I know God can hear me and can answer me. I don't know why this is really me now. I'm a stronger believer. I have more faith in God. Because I've seen him like fight for me when my knowledge and my skills and everything would not work. Now the beautiful thing is one day now this guy was really stubborn to Mercy, and they would not have peace. If she get late, it's going to be an issue. If she's going to be called and then she does not receive the call, or you know, all those things, it was really drama. And she didn't have peace. And it was really hell. It was hell. Until the brother told me, hey, you know what? Mercy is really going through a lot of issues and stressed. you need to come in and see what you can do, because I know maybe there is a way you know each other, you can be able to help her out. And I was like, now, how am I going to help her out? And already, we are not together. I mean, don't even think about you not being together. Just save her life. Because I think the brother felt like the sister was going through too much, in a way that she needed somebody who would like try to help her more than the way him as a brother would. Kumbe, it is the prayers that were being answered. But before I stepped in to help, because I really felt like this is the opportunity now. Remember, I had seen Joe as the lawyer, and we had the other lawyer, but it didn't materialize. We were still like, I'm pushing it ahead, like, Joe, I will see you so that we can be able to do what? The payments, so that you can now start filing and all that. But now we started delaying it, because now here, God was not giving her peace, answering the prayer that we had. And he was fighting the battle, because that is what I've been all through asking him to do, like to fight my battle. So that is why the delay was about the divorce. But here, now somebody does not have peace, and everything is now confusion and all that. She calls me one day. She calls me like, hi, I need your help. I was like, tell me what it is that you'd want me to help you. I want to give you this guy's number. You call him and tell him to leave me alone, because he's really like stressing me up. Tell him to leave your family alone. And I was like, God, this is it. If she has declared that that is my family, I think that's the best thing. I was like, give me that number. One thing, God has answered my prayer. Like, we have been praying that God is not good to give them peace. And would I start bragging around and trying to like show that it is me on, it is God. He has answered the prayer that way. Yeah. I called the person. This guy has a lot of information about me. So calling him and trying to tell him like, you're supposed to leave my family, like, dude, unaniambia nini? You left your people. I've been taking care of them for almost 1 year now. As in, what are you trying to tell me? And I was like, you will know I'm the one who paid the dowry, and I'm the one who took her to the altar. You will know. And I was like on fire. I wanted to go to town, to go to Embu. So the guy felt like, this is serious. And then Mercy helped me by telling him, you know what, if this guy comes, because I know it seems like he's quite hungry, what you're going to do, just go. For the sake of your safety, just go. Because if he comes and then there's going to be the fight and all that, even our son is going to be like, it is not going to be a good stuff. Hey, the guy left. He packed things quickly, and then he left. I didn't go, because she told me, no, don't come. But I will know how to like convince him to go and all that. So it's like, why do you again want to entertain him and trying to see? I can't just deal with him. Story issue. But then that was not the will of God, because again, as a believer, as a child of God, I believe I am a child of God, and I am. God wouldn't have allowed me to embarrass the gospel and salvation by doing something dramatic, something stupid. So things happened that I didn't go to Embu, but then the guy left. Then after 2 days, he wanted to come back. Then Marcel was like, no, don't come. Do this. You just go. David is coming back. And because he's a stubborn person, now Marcel was supposed to use the brothers to like tell this guy to move and go. And it happened, like the guy left. Now, the thing of bitterness and feeling bad started coming. Why would you do that to me when I have not even like seen any woman? Why would you do that? You didn't even respect the vows. Okay, now what do you think has gone on with Jimmy's mind? You know? And you know what? I started asking God to have a heart of forgiving. Because again, I felt like I was betrayed. Like, that was like a dream or kind of a life that I was not sure of what I was. Until the time now, kitu ilikuja ikatoka. Then I started realizing, hey, I've been betrayed. This person does not need forgiveness. But then I was like, no. What have I done to God? Vitu zenye nimefanyia God ni gani, ni ngapi zenye zingefanya animalize? Hata angenisamea, you wouldn't have given me a chance to live. You would have just finished me. But then I'm here, I'm looking and blaming this person. And we have one God who is forgiving me. And the same God anaanza kuproclaim, because when she realized that she had done all those things, she would go running to church to make things right in front of people. It's not like that you do it in an official way. You go, you book an appointment with the pastor. Pastor, I've lived this kind of life. I would want to be forgiven. I would want to be, I'm coming back. It is like she would go to church when the service is continuing, and you know what? I need to make things right with God. I don't know the kind of force that was pushing her. I need to make things right with God. Like, what do you mean? Yes, I've not lived right. I've betrayed David, and I want God to forgive me. I would hear when I'm here that she went to church. Then she went to my parent. She told them that I'm not even worthy coming here because I've done a lot of things. I'd want you to forgive me as parents. She has not told me all those things. She has not even asked for forgiveness. We are just talking, and it's like, hey, and then she goes, you know what? I want you to forgive me because I've done this and this and this and this. And she was honest. She told me things, and I was like, oh my God.
I don't need to know more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'd prayed for God to give me a heart of forgiving. Whatever happened to me even to date, I have never understood. I don't know. I cannot be able to explain. I've gone through a lot of issues and struggles here and there. But funny thing, forgiving has been easy for me.
Wow.
Forgiving has been easy.
Wow.
I don't struggle to forgive. The anger that I had, I don't know where it went. Honestly speaking, I try to be angry when somebody has wronged me. But I don't manage. I just find peace that I don't know, and I cannot be able to understand how it comes. And we were now to get to a point where we are now going to talk, because we have agreed, we are fine, but still we are not together. And we started trying to look back and see what has been happening with us, and we didn't understand. I think the devil wanted to destroy us and destroy me to a point where we would not live. So that is why there was all those things. And then I think the devil wanted me to get so hurt so that I cannot be able to forgive, and that I can give up and just be vulnerable to anything. When I'm exposed to anything, I can just get into it. So that would kill me faster. But you see, as I told you, when I came to church and I started serving, I started seeing hope. But the hope that I have right now is after God answered the prayers that He answered, and then seeing a changed Mercy. Because if the way Mercy is right now is how she was the time I was marrying her, we wouldn't have those things. She's the best.
You forgive her totally.
I forgave her. I don't even remember she had moved on and lived with another person for 9 months. I told her, every time she would come asking for forgiveness. Actually, sometimes when we are out, it is on a Sunday from church, we go to eat lunch, and she's like, David, I'm so sorry. There are some things I feel. And I was like, you want to bring back the story that I forgot. I don't remember. Why are you like, it is once and for all, whatever it is that happened, happened. It is the devil who was trying to use us like puppets, the way can be able to play a puppet. But we are already in God. God has already taken control. We are fine. Why are you remembering that? Mi sikumbuki. If you don't know, the kind of love I have for you right now is different from the one I had that time. Because I don't see those things. And if that is how God is, then I believe there is heaven. Why? If Christ would forget about our sins, he would forgive us and forget about us completely. He does not, when he sees us, he does not see the sins that we have done. Then Christ is in me because I cannot remember, unless you really want to insist on reminding me. And if that is what you want, then we sit down, you start putting them down in a paper or something so that we can revisit them, because I cannot remember. I didn't give up on God. I didn't give up on, even the time I felt like I would just release everything and I live my own life and, I just be happy. There was no happiness I would find. I didn't give up.
Amen.
I didn't give up.
Amen.
I knew there is a reward when you trust in God.
Amen.
You may not get the answer right away. And you might be pushed to a point where you think there is no God, or God is not concerned, or is not even caring about your issues. Until the time you'll be pushed and it will be not you anymore. It is God. When he comes to take you out of there, you will not say, I did this. You will not thump your chest and say, it is me. Because honestly, for my life right now, my family, it is not me. It is God.
Amen.
Whenever I'm seated like this and I'm trying to remember what I've gone through and all that, it is not me. There is nothing that I have done. There is no finger that I've put in the works that God has done for me to have my family back, for the restoration of my family. I hear, even the word says that a man should love his wife as Christ loves the church. And a wife should submit, to her husband. I can tell you for sure, the submission I've seen since the time we got back and all that, I don't think there are other people who are enjoying the same. Okay, everyone is living their life. I cannot, but I can tell you for sure, I cannot imagine there is another person who is enjoying the same as what I'm enjoying. She would consult me. She would surprise me. I'm the one who is supposed to surprise her, but she's surprising me more. The respect that she has for me, I don't know. And I feel like I have now started feeling a different love like the one I had before. Because even when I'm thinking about things about life and future and all that, the hope that I have about future came when we got back, because I was not seeing the future. But now I can see hope. I can see a great family. I can see future. Naona nikizeeka tukiwa na yeye.
Amen.
But that was not the case some years back when we were.
And there's something you told me. You said that if you could do this all over again, you would still marry me.
Let me tell you something. I can say it publicly. And even if I would call her right now and ask her, what did I tell you? I know she would say, I told her, if I was given another chance, I'm 25 years again, and I want to look for a wife, I would go for Mercy.
Wow.
She's the best.
Wow.
If I was supposed to marry again, I would go for Mercy. She's the best. When I had all the reasons to separate myself from serving God and just being alone and, trying to count the downfalls and, the frustrations and, all that, God gave me an opportunity to serve. And in that service, that is where I experienced and realized the joy. Because even when I was now going through a lot of all those things and, all those things and, the stress and all that, the kind of happiness and the joy that I had, that God was supplying, was through the people that I was working with that particular time. Because I'm online in the group, would make jokes, would share word, would sing together, would pray. And every time, when now I would have a chance now to start feeling like I'm down and I'm stressed and all that, would be like out. It would like be taken away by the continuity of prayer, talking and all that about God. Because I do not have friends. I do not have friends out there like friends like I go for joints, mtani. I don't have. But every time I would need to say something, every time I would want to share, every time I would want to pray, every time I had people who are with me.
In the ministry.
In the ministry. And that is one of the things that made me to be stronger, even right now, to be stronger in faith, because I realized that it was like God was like taking care of me and was like trying to save me from the other side where the devil would have like finished.
Destroyed you. Wow.
The kind of joy and happiness that God gave me all along and even now. There's nobody who can understand even if I try to explain about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. And that's the encouragement that Jesus never fails. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You could be going through the darkest of nights. You could be going through the deepest of sorrow.
Yeah.
Jesus does not fail. He will turn your he'll turn your mourning into laughter and into dancing.
Yeah.
That's what the song says. Yeah, he turns my mourning into dancing again.
Yeah.
He does not leave us. He does not forsake us. All things work together for good for those that love the Lord and that have been called in accordance to his purpose. I think that's my take home. That it doesn't matter, all things, good things, bad things, all things work together for good of them that love him and are called in accordance to his purpose. So be encouraged. Whatever it is that you're going through, God is faithful and Jesus does not fail. God bless you.
Amen.